What kind of fucking bullshit is like?
Dude, he does this every week.
The bad news is that civilization is crumbling around you.
Wear a dog mask, cut your dick off, bomb Palestine.
The good news is that you are not alone.
There's butthole shaving videos.
I feel bad for the minorities in LA for having to deal with the white people in LA.
You have 5 till midnight, live every Monday at 8 p.m. where you join 5 Limp Bizkit Americans to laugh at the absurd nonsense of the end of history.
Shit show right there.
Sam, stop it!
Well, it's just us. Maybe we should just quit. Maybe we should just shut it down. Maybe I'll end the stream right now.
That would be funny.
Who cares? I'm gonna eat ice cream in silence.
Yeah, that's a good look. You are a fat fuck. You really are a fat fuck. You just hide it well. Right? It's disgusting. If I ate like you, I'd be so fucking fat.
I don't really eat a lot. Like
you're always eating on stream.
But you eat like shit.
I know.
Except bananas, which even too many bananas isn't good for you. You have like a potassium overload.
Very much recently. Fruit bad.
Fruit bad.
I claim.
Fruit
What
bad.
are you doing all the time before the stream? Like, why do you have to eat on stream?
Awesome words.
Funny.
Sick English, bro.
I think it's funny. Is the real answer?
It is funny.
What's up, everybody?
But you do eat like shit, and it's fucking drives me crazy.
You're trying to do like a mukbang or something on the show?
I mean, dude, I can't. Like, I could not do that. I had
ASMR?
a video pulled up, and then I like changed it.
Is it of you eating more ice cream?
We should do ASMR. Here, watch this. And then
what's ASMR?
ASMR is like when people go like, It's like those videos. Yeah, I know. It's this people. Listen, this is what I think about those. You're jerking off to those. There's no way people listen to those or watch those to just like enjoy it. That's my personal philosophy: is you jerk off to ASMR videos. There's no way you don't.
This is
I don't know, man.
ASMR is fucking weird, dude.
That is weird. Disturbing stuff.
I feel like everyone's probably seen this video, but it's just so ridiculous. Look at Marco Rubio and Pam Bondi.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. It just seems like a desecration.
Dude, he's the one who ran on this platform.
Yeah.
Like, he's the one who said, like, are you still talking about it? He was still talking about it years after it happened because there was no resolution. There's no reason to stop talking about something if there's no resolution.
Yeah, it's potentially one of the biggest pedophile trafficking rings in like at least American history or just, recent history. And it's I sent out a post the other day on Twitter where it's like the timeline of like how this all went down. Like I said, October 2024, Trump was like, I'm releasing the list. In fucking February, all those binders went out. Then early June, Kash Patel was like, he killed himself, guys. I don't know what you're talking about. And then late June was like, there's actually no list. And then July, it was, hey, the list was made up by Obama, Biden, and the corrupt DOJ. It's like, bro, what a fall off, dude. All you had to do was deport 100 million people and you would be great. And you got to keep fucking up. It's annoying.
And these people are like the most powerful people that are still in our government and probably other governments and in powerful positions. Like, yes, people still care about the literal sex trafficking ring that is in the highest levels of society. Like, why would we not care?
Yeah.
What else can we care about? Yeah, Texas is important. A bunch of innocent people died, but this is more important than that. Like, I'm sorry. Obviously, I care about innocent people dying, but this has much farther reaching implications.
S tier is like giant pedophile ring.
This is like to a lot of like regular normie conservative types who, that's who I'm friends with around here. And that's my family. Like, you talk about politics just a little bit with them, it always devolves into the Epstein scandal. Like, this is just this conspiracy has captured the right-wing zeitgeist for like 5 years, 6 years. I don't know how long, dude. Every time it always comes up and people have been talking about this. I mean, I remember like the BoomerCon type saying like, this is the reason why they support Trump is like, he's going to bring the hammer down on the Epstein list. And like, listen, I was never like the one that was like, he's going to arrest every single person involved, or, you know, like bring down like serious high level people. I thought we would get like, you know, a few lower level hanging fruit guys, like lower level guys that they can perp walk and frame them or blame it on someone.
Right.
Or maybe release some information about who is connected to it or something. What specifically, like what the blackmail that Jeffrey Epstein has was being used for. Like what were they actually, like what were they trying to solicit out of people using blackmail? Like what?
Seriously,
Like that. But for them to just like, dude, like I don't see how they could think
you don't brush this
one-
off. You can't just
Yeah,
brush it off. This
I
is
don't.
not
And
like
this has been something that all the Con Inc., right? This has
Yeah.
been like the safe conspiracy theory to talk about. Like all like you could watch Benny Johnson or Charlie Kirk or any of these like more mainstream characters, they would talk about the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. Like it's not
Seriously.
something that like you have to be listening to a show like ours to hear about it, you know? Like this is something that everybody was aware of. It didn't even matter if you're conservative or liberal, like everybody was aware of this scandal. It really captured the zeitgeist. So you just to like close the case, and I mean that's not gonna work. And like the most frustrating part for me is not even like the government lies, politicians lie. And some level I kind of expected this, like deep down inside, I kind of expected this. It's to watch like people that I thought had a little bit more respect for themselves to be like, guys, the Epstein case is not a big deal. Like I'm watching people on my timeline like actually defend this, and I'm like, dude, are you serious right now? This
because
is
when you like you said, Ty, when you go over all over the like conservative influencers, like let's cat turd. We all think he's a giant piece of shit fag, right? But like you could track his tweets for being like, bring down the fucking Epstein hammer, get all these fucking pedos out of Hollywood. And it's like, and then it's like, guys, Trump's actually doing 8D chess, and you guys are actually conspiracy theorists for believing in the Epstein thing. It's like, motherfucker, like history exists on the internet. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like there's a paper trail, and like I'm not saying that Trump is on the list, but it kind of looks like, based on what's happened, that he is on the list. Like it seems reasonable. And I
opens
used to not
up the door
believe
for that criticism. Yeah, this opens up the door for that criticism, even if it's true or not. Like this, it just makes it look like, you know, someone was tracking like Google searches before like Trump just announced that they're closing the case and they're like basically not taking any further steps. And it was like Epstein scandal was like anything involved with the word Epstein, it would be Epstein and scandal. And that was like the #1 Googled thing. And then shortly after this announcement, it was like Trump Epstein's relationship. Like, so then the whole, so like everyone's mind, like you were saying, Sam, is like, I don't know what else you can take from it. It's not to say like, I mean, I'm sure there's, but just to like on its surface, you're like, okay, he's either on the list or protecting people that were in us that are associated with him on the list. So it's like, dude, you're opening up the door for massive criticism. This just gave the Democrats a huge weapon.
Yeah.
Like all these Democrats are out here, like now they're pouncing on the mainstream media is even pouncing on them about this stuff.
Here's how the memory or the forgetful memory of this country works with like the 24/7 news cycle. Don't forget, Biden had this list during his presidency and they didn't release shit. So now, even though the Democrats sat on it, they can still turn around and be like, well, Trump sat on it. Everybody's like, yeah, he did. It's like, well, you guys did too. Because like you said, they're protecting fucking everybody, right? The only third possible option, and I don't even think this is it, but just for devil's advocate argument's sake, is Trump could have been like maybe behind closed doors, like I'm releasing the files, and someone was like, we're going to kill you. And he's like, you know what? Let's keep him close. Like that could be that, but I doubt that's it. I think it's one of the first two things he said.
My theory on this is that this would implicate so many higher level people, even if they didn't even do anything like weird or creepy, but just being associated with Jeffrey Epstein or other people that were actually doing weird and creepy stuff, that if they would even release just a little bit of information, it could risk like national security. Like it would actually
probably will. because
yes,
of the
it would
level
have.
of people implicated in
Yes.
this. This isn't like some pimp in Baltimore. This is
Right.
this is a big sex trafficking thing, and I understand like why they wouldn't want it to get out, because of like it could tear apart the entire fabric of world governments. But like that's why that system has to come down. And I don't know, if looking at it from that perspective, it's possible that like maybe it's best the list doesn't come out, but at the same time that means that somebody can continue to do that. And like maybe the whole, like I don't know, would we descend into a complete, like, would all the governments, like with the US and Canada and the UK governments, like collapse, and then we'd have anarchy if this happened? Like maybe it's best it doesn't come out, but at the same time we're dealing with child sex trafficking. Like us even
Yeah.
talking about this might get this limited by YouTube, because we're saying like these are when you read about some gang or a motorcycle club like doing this type of thing, it's evil. And it's even more evil, I think, when you're talking about like the most powerful people in the world doing it. Yeah, Israel. Obviously, everyone knows
Right,
that Jeffrey
yeah.
Epstein was. We're not hiding that. It just didn't come up. But yes, it's Israeli intelligence.
Do you guys see that former PM of Israel on Twitter today? He was like, guys, I was prime minister of Israel, and you don't think I would know if Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad agent? It's like, okay. He wasn't. You're right.
Why would we trust you?
Right. It's crazy.
Yeah. Jay Forte.
Also, good.
Go ahead.
No,
you go
good.
ahead and then I'll answer.
I was just going to say, like, also, I think after the COVID thing, we know they're lying about the whole Epstein thing and the video, and they're just like, what are you going to do about it? And we're like, oh, nothing. You're right. And they're like, it's my fucking thought. Exactly. So they're just kind of rubbing in our face at this point, like fucking dogs after they shit on a carpet. They're like, you ain't gonna do shit, bitch. And you're like, yeah, you're right. I'm not. I'm just gonna talk about it on a podcast with my friends.
Sam, can you give an anthropologist's expertise on international bribery and blackmail sex rings ran by an asset of a foreign nation? So,
yeah. Where you said it's Israel.
Dude, I mean, this is like obviously when we're talking about high level politics stuff, it comes down to people mostly talk about institutions and like what institutions do, these large organizations. But if you really get down to it, it is individuals running the institutions within certain rules. And the interactions between individuals in those organizations, and both within and between different organizations and governments, it comes down to personal relationships. And this is something that my friends Bog Beef and Marbleck talk about a lot, these patronage networks. It's really relevant to that, where like their people are clients and patrons. The most obvious metaphor for this is like feudalism, where you have a king and a duke works for the king, and then that duke has like counts under him and like knights and stuff, and there's like a whole like network up and down, and somewhere the buck has to stop. And usually in a situation like this, where you have a corporation or a government institution that has done something horrible, like the FBI or even like the EPA, there's some sort of cover up. It might be that maybe the head of the EPA or the head of the FBI did have knowledge, but they would pick some patsy who is like the director of not the entire FBI, but of a lower down subdivision of the FBI. But in this case, they can't do that. It's just too big. So if because of these personal relationships where like the people implicated are like this comment from Diego, they even had Stephen Hawking. Like, yeah, they had Stephen Hawking, the freaking paraplegic scientist. Like, this is not like this is high levels of government, high levels of corporations, like CEOs, like presidents of different countries, prime ministers, heads of like secretaries of state, royalty of different countries. Like, there's no way to stop the buck at some subdivision of an American departmental secretary. You can't make the buck stop there. And because of that, because of the amount of people that it implicates, it's just, you can't release part of it, because then it's like, oh, you're releasing this tiny part, where's the rest of it? You can't release a document that has a list of 200 names on it, and you can't release just the footage from one room in Epstein's house, because his whole house was rigged up with cameras. like just the existence of that list, if there's 150 names on it and 149 are blacked out, and then one of the names on the list, you can't do that. So they just can't release any of it, and they have to come out and just say, oh, there's no footage, there's no list, and they release a doctored Voidzilla, what's his name? The usual cryptocurrency guy, came out and said that it was altered. Apparently the metadata in the video that they released was altered. Kash Patel had said they weren't going to alter it. It's just, there's no way to release anything of substance without implicating everything. And like, once this information got out, there's like nothing you can do. So like, and I don't know, like there's blackmail where they can threaten people. They can either use, threats, or they can use like honey or vinegar, right? Like they can threaten somebody or their family, or they can offer them something like a position or money or some sort of power. And like, if you're at the level where you're Kash Patel, even though Kash Patel is like, he's director of the FBI? Is that his position?
Yeah.
Like he's at a very high position, but there are hundreds of people more powerful than him, even though he has a public facing position. And like, I don't know how they got to him. I believe that Kash Patel personally was, and maybe is, like a stand-up guy, but regardless of how good of a guy he is and how much he is against the corruption, when they're at the point where like we're dealing with people that were trafficking children to an island. Like these are people that will do things that we think are just in TV shows. Like they will harm your children. They will torture your mother. This is not a joke. And like nobody, like I would fall under the pressure in that situation. If someone's going to do something to my children or my wife, something horrible, I'll say whatever you want. I'll say there's no video. I'll say he did it to himself. I don't care. Like, and at that level, what are you going to do? Especially when these are the people who control everything.
You know, there's also something else that we like never really talk about during this whole thing. How many people are into children sexually in power? And why do you think that is?
What is up with that, dude? Like, you can get me with a hot-ass 21-year-old. You're not going to get me with a 14-year-old? Why? That's a child.
I know, 13 at least for you. But, like, but no, like, seriously, I think a lot of this is, like, you get put in positions of power because you're on the fucking blackmail list. And they go, you're going to run the show. And if you fucking don't do what we say, we're releasing some shit. And they go, got it. That's what I think a lot of it is. I don't fucking know. I'm just saying, though, if like all these princes, presidents, prime ministers, fucking Hollywood makes sense, honestly. But all the other politicians and stuff like that, they're all on this fucking list. Dude, that says
maybe
something.
It's something like, there's a comment here. It's the ultimate taboo, and they know they can't get fucked for it. So I think what it is like, these are people that are very powerful, usually been powerful their entire life. They've gotten everything they want, right? They've gotten absolutely everything they've ever wanted. And like, after a while, it's the same thing with like addiction to pornography. Like, okay, you've been doing this for long enough. Where can you go farther? That's where you get into like T-porn and stuff like that. For someone who's addicted to pornography. And then like, you know, that's a whole other thing. But I think it's just like, they can have all the most gorgeous women in the world that they want. Like Saudi Arabia flies in Dubai, they fly in like models to like do
shit on that stuff. Yeah.
Right. So like, once you get past that, when it becomes normal to you on a hedonic treadmill to just bang the hottest women in the world that you could ever want, I guess the next step is children. I guess.
But that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, but how else do you explain this crap?
Like, it would make sense for you just to do more depraved stuff with adults. Like, I don't know why your mind would be like, I banged all 10s. You know what? 12-year-olds in my wheelhouse now. It's like, it doesn't, like,
I've done the 10s. How about a 12?
The 12s are going up. But like, how about you just do like, I'm gonna shit in your mouth, like an adult woman. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of shit. Where it's like, why would your brain? So that's why I think they've always been like this. And they find the right fucking people to do it. And then they're like, yo, you happen to be in politics? Great. What was the Operation fucking the San Francisco thing where they were drugging politicians and making them bang hookers and filming and being like, do this? What was that? What was that operation? Operation Raindrop or something? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
Someone knows what I'm talking about. I think back in the 60s, an affair was like a big deal, right? Like if you cheat on your wife, like you were just like, Now no one gives a fuck. But people still
Yeah.
care if you're banging children. So it's like that's the
Yeah.
new
As they
60s
should.
thing. Of
Yeah,
course.
I've heard, I forgot where I've either
Or
read
being
this
gay,
or saw this.
again.
Yeah, but like, yeah, at that time, you know, J. Edgar, you know,
Yes,
J.
cross-dresser.
Edgar,
Edgar Hoover.
he was
Right.
kind of a, yeah, kind
He
of
was
a
banging gays,
cross-dresser,
the
but
homophobic
he was
head of the
also,
FBI.
yeah, he also knew other people that were into this stuff and was blackmailing them. And this is like stuff he was known for, of like, you know, getting dirt on people and getting them to do like things that he wanted. But at the time, like that would seem like, if, you know, if they brought like the stuff he had, it was just like, you know, this guy was secretly gay or he was just cheating on his wife at the time. Like it would be stuff
I
like,
wish that those were the scandals we
and
were dealing with.
I know, but like that is no longer a scandal like in 2025. Like we hear about it all the time, like politician cheated on their
Right,
wife.
no one cares.
And it's like literally doesn't even make
Par
the
for the
news.
course.
It'll be a post from a prominent like news posting account on Twitter and it'll have like 200 likes. Like no one cares that they cheated on their wife anymore or even sleeping with dudes. Like that is just not like, I mean, people would be like, oh, he's gay, like whatever. But you know, that has been completely normalized in our society. And I forgot where I read this before, but they think, you know, a part of the reason that that stuff is normalized is because people at higher levels like pushed it to be normalized because they were tired of being blackmailed.
Right. That makes sense.
And that is what, like, there is some aspect of our elite class that is trying to normalize basically pedophilic behavior. And, you know, I don't think it's like exactly true across the board, but you do see elements of that for sure happening in our society.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Like Jay Forte said, yeah, there was a dude in a dog mask in the military. No one gives it. I mean, we care, but like he could do it openly, and he still had. I know he retired, but like still.
I wouldn't even care if he did it. Just don't put on the freaking fetish dog mask in your uniform, you freak. Like,
but I would still care if he's into that because he shouldn't be in the fucking military.
Maybe I should care, but I don't. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
And maybe that's
they got
because
you.
it was normalized for me.
They propagandize you, bro. Also,
there's something.
Evil Fandango here is talking about the Dubai chocolate. I've seen this theory. You guys ever hear of this like conspiracy theory?
The candy is public relations campaign to
yeah.
hide
So,
the food
like
plate?
Sam said,
What?
all these like you Arab Emirates guys and Dubai and all right, they would fly girls out to shit on them, and that was becoming like a thing, and they didn't like that. So the theory is, or the conspiracy theory is, that Dubai chocolate, which is pretty good by the way, and make sure to try it, it's pretty good. That was pushed so hard through TikTok and social media influencers. So when you search Dubai chocolate, that comes up and not the fucking scandal.
Yes.
Dude,
yes.
I was so confused. I saw Dubai chocolate at like my local gas station at the Cumbies, Cumberland Farms, we call it, whatever. But like I like saw it and I was like, why would Dubai be making chocolate? And that actually makes the most sense. And this is the thing, like that might sound ridiculous to some people, probably not our watchers, but like at higher levels, at like these high governmental levels, like people will do things like this to change the narrative around what they do. Like Ken Griffin was involved in a massive scandal. Who is Ken Griffin, Adam?
I don't know.
He's the owner of the Mets. Okay, so he owns.
No,
the
he's
Mets,
not.
What?
He
Who does
own
he
the
own?
Mets.
He owns some sports team. I'm sorry, I'm off track. But Ken Griffin owns who? What? What am I? Okay, whatever. This guy who ran a market maker called Citadel. And I'll Google this in the background once I'm done talking. But he owns this market maker called Citadel, and they were involved in this massive scandal. And to change the narrative around, like, everybody Googles his name, they find out he's a financial criminal and he's publicly hated. And then he buys a sports team to make that the thing that they Google for his name.
He never owned a sports team, but he's been in bids to purchase Chelsea Football Club and the Miami Dolphins. But he never owned a sports team.
Okay, I don't understand.
But the Citadel
why
thing
they're
is correct.
making-
So, you're kind of right.
What am I? Okay, I'm sorry. It wasn't Ken Griffin. It was Steve Cohen.
Steve
Cohen
Cohen's,
was
he's the owner of the Mets. Yes.
Steve Cohen is a guy that was involved in hedge funds, who, for the same reason, I'm sorry, it was not Ken Griffin, but he had bad press around being the owner of this hedge fund involved in this crap, and so he bought the Mets around the same time. The ginger. I'm not a ginger, dude. I am blonde. I've been blonde my whole life. Like, I don't care. I wouldn't care if I was a ginger, but I'm not.
Hey, Rex, go fuck yourself. He's right. Yankees are not doing good. Yeah, I think a lot of that's the case. Where, like, especially with all these TikTok influencers and stuff, they'll just, like, look at the Kamala campaign, right? They were openly paying, like, all these TikTok influencers to be like, go say you're going to vote for us. And, like, okay, thanks for your $2,000. It's like, yeah, that's just par for the course now. It's another type of social psyop. All this shit.
Yeah, and to cover stuff up, it's really like, just flood it with, like, get people normalized by something else, or if some scandals like come into news, they can just flood the keywords that you'd use to search up, and then it'd pop up like something completely different. I don't know. I've seen stuff like that can happen.
Yeah, True Detective. The first two the first season was great.
We are getting way too many good comments today.
I know there's so many good ones.
I can't even put them all up. The comment section is popping off.
But
thanks, Diego. And
that
Diego
also
earlier was talking about cartels. Diego lives in Mexico, and he was talking about cartel connections to the government. It's the same thing at the highest level. Like, there are these connections of people that are very powerful, and they have personal relationships that go beyond whatever's going on in ideology or institutions. It's like a bazillion, like Basil, who's kind of left the internet, unfortunately. But
I know
he talks about these personal relationships in like sex. What is up, year zero? Tommy's the man. Yeah, dude, it's not getting any better. We're never gonna get this. Someone said it before. It's like the JFK of the current time, and he's right. Oh, he did say that. Yeah, it's like he's right. Like I said, I don't think this is it, but Trump could have been like, I'm doing it. They're like, well, fucking JFK. He's like, understood. I doubt it, though. I do doubt it. But who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
We were all conned pretty hard.
Yeah, I think, I'm surprised they didn't just, like, continue to lie to us. Like, oh, we're still investigating, getting information. Like, they could have essentially dragged that out.
Dragged it on.
That's way better than being like, there's no list.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then they could, blame it on a couple dead people or something. Like, oh, these people were the most prominent figures, or I don't know, find a couple intelligence assets that were to be your patsy. Hey, these guys were the ones blackmailing people, and I don't know. But it was just so brazen how they shut it, that I think that's really what caused more of the backlash than anything else. Was like the brazen, they were not giving you anything. It's over, move on with it. And and I think they're gonna have to, I don't know, make up something or find a patsy. I don't know what they're gonna do, but people are not like gonna be happy about this, and I don't think they're gonna be satisfied. And I know, like, I was, I watched Glenn Beck's show. He is like, pretty big boomer audience, boomer conservative type guy. And he does like a call section where like he lists, hey, as people call in and they can ask questions or raise concerns. And dude, pretty much all the calls in his latest podcast was talking about this. Like, they're like,
if this
I don't understand.
Isn't fixed, nothing else matters. Like, obviously, innocent people in Texas, that matters. But like, FEMA and good NGOs that respond to that type of thing are going to deal with that. Like, that's going to be taken care of. That's fine. This is the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I feel like that's
disgusting.
That is the level, dude. Like, there's conservatives, they're big pro Trump guys, never say bad things about Trump. And, they're not to the level of like, Trump's in on it, but they're like confused. Some of them might be like, well, maybe he's got a plan or something, or they're disappointed, like massively disappointed. Like, I am actually worried that, they have to do something, like give the people something, or this could seriously like cause fractures within the MAGA base. And that can
Oh,
lose a
yeah.
lot of momentum for things that act like things that need to get done in this country, like deportations, just, the economy, some other stuff. Like this stuff can help fracture this coalition, like just, and I think even to the Trump administration, I kind of believe that they didn't know or realize how big this was to the base. Like I think,
Uh,
maybe
Yeah.
Trump didn't. Maybe there's some like just to give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe there is some serious national security implications, and they're afraid to crack into this case
I'm
because
sure there are.
it would implicate people on their side that's part of their coalition, or cause some snowball level event that would put like massive distrust and like an unrest across the country of like the shit that gets discovered or something. Like I don't know. Let's just say that like that's what they're thinking. I don't know if that's true, but let's just say it is for this next point. But I think Trump, like, he took a bullet. He like made one of the greatest political comebacks in history next to Nixon. Like he took a lot. And I think like maybe he thought that he could just close this case. And he's like, listen, I'm doing deportations. I don't know what
If he was doing more deportations, he maybe could have got away with this, but he's not.
Yeah, that's true too. But I just don't think like they thought that there were so many people like literally invested in this. Like they were kind of out of touch with their own base on this situation. And
Nothing else
I
matters.
think
dude.
they're learning that like people are very fixated on this. Like, dude, like
Yeah.
I say this as someone that like I dive into this stuff and research and look at and listen to different weird podcasts that talk about this stuff. And boomers that don't do that, boomer cons, they just watch a few Facebook reels. They might not have the facts right. All right. They might
Yeah.
say some wonky things about the Epstein case that even I'm like, that's a little far out there.
The boomers are the same.
Whatever.
The ones watching those real type are the same ones falling for shitty AI videos, being like, "Have you seen this?" It's like, yeah, we're fucked, dude. You guys gotta die out.
Well, sure. I just mean that like this has been stuck in the zeitgeist of normal conservative political talk for like 5 years. And they don't have all the details right. They probably fed a lot of misinformation or a lot of good information about this stuff. But what they do know is that seriously like depraved people in the higher echelons of our society were doing some seriously nefarious shit. And the Trump campaign, either directly or indirectly, claimed they were going to reveal what was going on and bring down the hammer of justice. And that is what they expected. And now they're not getting it. And this is a major scandal that's coming from this. This is the biggest scandal coming from this administration right now.
Yeah. Well, again,
and
everyone
Asmongold's the biggest political streamer in the world. That's a big deal that Asmongold is still talking about this, and he's conservative. Like this kind of stuff is what moves culture.
Because everyone who isn't in on it or on the list or a paid shill is like, maybe we should stop the child sex trafficking ring. So it's like, of course it's not going, and that's the majority of us, right? So like, of course it's not going to go anywhere, but they're going to keep fucking just stamping that shit down until it go, and it's like it's not going to go away. So,
well, I
also,
already
this ushers a Democratic win, I think, in 2028. Honestly.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go vote in the midterms probably at all. Like,
I forgot about those. They're going to get fucking crushed.
Dude, the midterms are over. Like, and it's not like the Democrats are better. They did the same thing, but the Democrats didn't come out and say they were going to do anything about it. They were just like letting it sit. And Trump could have won this election without talking about Epstein, but he had to talk about it, and it set himself up for failure when he then didn't do it. There's no excuse for that.
Agreed.
Yeah, and this is like me, like in a lot of ways, the Dems might even know like there's no way they could release this stuff, so they are going to use this as a political tool, at least in the public eye, to bludgeon the Republicans of like how they failed. I mean, Hakeem Jeffries have already talked about like Congress should, whatever, it's probably political theater, but legit, like he's just going on there like, hey, the Congress should look into like how we can get these files released, and all this shit. And
just Maxwell said she would testify in Congress on the list.
yeah, I don't really know what that means. There's a lot of
Me either.
I don't know. I don't. Why wasn't she doing that?
But again,
like
to go back to what we said last week, though, dude, it's like, well, if there's no list, why the fuck is she in prison for 25 years?
Right.
Exactly.
This is common law. You have to have a victim. So, like, who were these children trafficked to then? Because you have
ghosts?
to know. You have this is ridiculous.
Yeah, man. I mean, I just don't see this going away. I really see this causing major infighting. It's already happening. Major infighting. Well, what's weird, what's throwing me off though, I mean, you have Matt Walsh that's like, hey, this is bullshit. You have Charlie Kirk, not as hardcore about it, but he's even came out and it's like, hey, this is I mean, a lot of the more mainstream, normie, conservative talk heads, they're blaming it all on Pam Bondi. That seems to be the normal thing. That he's like, hey, we're just gonna blame Pam Bondi. Like
well,
they're trying to make the buck stop at Pam Bondi. You know what I mean? Like that's what they're trying to do. But you know, then then Trump comes out on True Social and defends Pam Bondi, and it's like, okay. And then I saw some of the conservative talking heads. Now they're like, we kind of have to criticize Trump a little bit now, and they're a little iffy on it. But I did see today that Charlie Kirk's line was basically, I'm going to stop talking about Epstein thing because I trust my friends in government. And then Benny Johnson made a post saying that he's talked to some high-level officials in the Trump administration, and now they're gonna look into it a little harder now, guys, and they're gonna release more information. And to me, this is just fucking damage control. This is them being like, oh crap, like we need to get this to settle down and calm down. And you know, the talking heads are gonna act like, oh, it's because we pressured you guys, and then, you know, we probably won't get any more information about this from the administration for like a couple months or 6 months, or unless this pressure stays on. I mean, it could die down a little bit in the coming weeks, but I mean, I'm gonna go out on the limb, and I don't think this pressure's going away. I really don't.
I really doubt
That's
it.
my opinion.
Like this is something like as far as like, there's a lot of division in the U.S. right now, Democrats, Republicans, and then people that are kind of like in the middle, like us, who kind of, you know, are lean conservative, but we're not like MAGA people. I think that's fair to say. Like, but everybody, like, if you went in and you one of us as like an independent goes in and we talk to like a random average MAGA person and a random average blue MAGA Democrat, like you talk to them, all three of us are going to agree on this. Like this is not something like, the only reason that somebody from MAGA would defend Trump on this is if they think that Trump is playing some sort of 4D chess. That's the only reason.
Which they do, though.
Some of them do. But right now, like, Trump won this election because of people like us coming to his side. I voted for Trump in 2024. I did not vote for him in 2016 or 2020. That's why he won the election. And so that's why I voted for other Republicans in 2024 as well. I'm not coming out for him or for the Republicans in the midterms. I'm not going to fucking do it because of this. So this screws them. And then the Democrats, the same thing's going to happen. They're just going to swing back the other way.
Yeah, and that's the bummer too, because like Democrats are just fucking awful. Like they are just awful. Like, as bad as this is, Democrats will actively try to ruin our country with like immigration and like tax. Like they will fuck us. So we're fucking ourselves really in the end. But I agree with you. It's like you should have just fucking followed through. This would be avoidable.
Yeah, it's a shitty dynamic that we are in. You know, I would say like 90% of like actual Republican politicians are just as bad, if not worse. The only reason things are different now is because of the Trump populism, Trump movement. And that's why it's so just like frustrating to watch this happen. Because I feel like, you know, I want Trump to deport people. I want Trump to like be the guy to expose. Like I want him to be the boomer pipe dream. You know what I mean? Like I want him to be that guy. I want him to come out, crack skulls, like, hey, pedophile, you're going to jail, you know, because you'd be in jail. Like I want him to do that shit, dude. I want him so bad. And you know, it's still at the end of the day, like he does this where he does something like this, and you're like, dude, what the fuck is going on? I can't support this. And then he'll say something like, Iran and Israel don't know what the fuck they're doing. And you're like, I love that, dude. It almost
I'm back.
I'm in. Assign
he always brings me back.
And
son of a bitch.
But unfortunately, this is why I want him to be great. I like him a lot. He's one that drew me into politics. But this is like, okay, this is just not funny. You know, like this is too far. Like it's not cute anymore. You know, like it's not like, oh, we're gonna hide the pedophiles and not talk about this, and then he's gonna go talk shit to some journalist. It's like, okay, dude, we're out now. We're out of, like, you can't do that. You can't reel me back in anymore. Like this is just too big for me to like like, you know, he could be like, you know, we might give amnesty to some farmers somewhere, and then he'll go and like, you know, talk shit about like the criminals coming through the border. And I'm like, oh, you know, he reeled me in. But this is like, it's not cute. It's not, I can't look at this as like, oh, you're the funny guy that we elected to office. It's like, oh, no. Like, you actually need to do something about this, because this coalition is majorly going to fracture. You're in charge of this. And do you want to be the guy that survived the assassination to, you know, expose the deep state, or the guy to basically cover up for the deep state? Like, this is, what is your legacy going to be? And unfortunately, this is just too big. It's too big of a story for him to just try to stomp it out and tell us to shut up. Like, it's just too big. I'm sorry. It probably does risk some serious implications in our government and national security. Like a lot of this stuff, like I don't even doubt that. It's just that this story is so big, we have to have a scalp. You have to give us something. You have to put a sacrifice, a government official, a billionaire, I don't know, something. You have to give up something to the people so we can be at least satisfied to a little bit.
Especially because we don't know if it didn't continue under something, you know?
True.
Like, I don't know if this stopped.
Oh, there's no, I'll put everything I own on it. It's just something else now.
Right.
And maybe in 40, 50 years that will come out too. But it's also interesting. Like, you know how like the Democrats will get like the same playbook, or they get like a text from somebody being like, hey guys, post out the same shit. And it's like with Trump was you know, like, this is the end of our democracy, and every like big left-wing influencer will like post the same exact lines.
Yeah.
You're seeing that with the right now with this thing. Like you said, Charlie Kirk, Benny Johnson, all these guys are like, guys, I trust big government. Oh, I trust the Trump and the Epstein stuff. It's like the same. That's why you can't trust any of these motherfuckers, dude. It's all the same exact bullshit. It's just, what side do you align with more of, right? It's like, well, we're all leaning conservative, and now they're doing it, but we see through that shit. So we're like, no, dude, we are not your typical like fucking retarded NPC normie. We know what you're doing. We're not going to see like, oh, they got it, guys. Did you hear they got it? It's like, it's not going to happen. We're going to keep.
Oh, he did it to himself. Whatever. Oh, the video was edited. Who cares? Doesn't matter.
Right.
No, it matters. It matters
100%.
A lot.
Yeah.
It's just a joke, dude. It's like they just think, I don't know. They think we're so stupid. Like, I don't know.
Or like I said earlier, dude, they just don't give a fuck that we know. Right.
They don't care. We're not going to do, like, I'm not going to go to the Connecticut State House and hurt people. I'm not going to do that.
No, my life's awesome. Why would I do that?
No one is. So, like, what am I going to do? We're going to sit here and complain about it on a podcast to other people who also aren't going to do anything about it.
Right.
And I'm not advocating for people to do something. What?
They bred and circus the fuck out of us.
Yeah. It's like,
what else coming up? I'm like, bad Epstein for like the Giants season, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I just think You know, I just don't think, I actually don't think even some of the big prominent influencers within the conservative side are going to put up with this. Like, there's just, it's just too big, dude. Like, I don't.
And the end
I don't-
result is just that the Democrats then win.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yes.
That's all that
I
happens.
mean, this is what they're going to, this is the stick they will
100%.
beat us with. They're going to beat the
100%.
Republicans over the head with this until the midterms, like over and
deserve it.
over. And they do. Like, they could take their weapon away, too. They could take it away.
And then you know what's going to happen during their presidency? Every good thing Trump did, that's fucking gone. U.S. aid's coming back. More immigration's coming back. We're going to get fucked with all these We're going to get fucked, dude. 100% fucked. And there's nothing we could fucking do about it.
Yeah, you see Luke's comment there. He said, I think Martyr made a good point that the list is a distraction from the bigger issue of a domestic and foreign intelligence agency trafficking children.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think, honestly,
Yeah.
Tucker's trying a tactic. He's literally trying to blame, like, Israel's intelligence, Mossad. He's trying to blame Mossad. And that would, dude, that would be blaming the, like, a foreign government, or blaming just some always blue Democrat, like CIA agents. Like, that might actually work, dude. But unfortunately, who knows who they'll take down with them is the thing. Like, you start, putting these people up as the sacrifice for this angry mob. What are they going to release, or what are they going to tell people? And I think that's what they're afraid of, honestly.
Because they, like we said before, they know we're not going to fucking rise up and storm Capitol buildings. It's like, they're like, shut up, faggots. You ain't going to do shit. We're like, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You can do shit.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to do anything. I'm literally not.
I think we're in, like, late stage Soviet Union now. Like, I think that's, like, the Soviet Union really just collapsed because, like, most people just stopped believing in it. Like, they just, it was like, hey, this thing, this thing doesn't work. Like, it's getting so crazy, so off the wall, like, what they're trying to tell us at this point, that it's falling apart. Like, I can't remember his name. I think it was Czechoslovakia. I don't know. One of the communist leaders, I think it was Czechoslovakia. But he's, like, giving a speech about the greatness of the Communist Party while the Communist Party and the Soviet Union's collapsing. Like, literally mid-speech, the people in the room start booing him. And he's like, he's just so confused. He's like, what? Well, why is everyone mad? And it's like, dude, the thing's collapsing, you fucking idiot. Like, why do you think they're mad at you? And then that guy actually ends up being killed, like, in the street. Like,
of course, they all do.
Leader that dies. But it's just like, I think that's, like, what's going to happen with us. Like, people, this thing, the federal government, it's going to it still has major implications on our life. It's just people aren't going to take it seriously anymore and know that it can't be trusted. Like, it's going to be looked upon as, like, this thing that's just so absurd and abnormal that it's just, like, eventually we can't look at it like this anymore. I mean, especially this Epstein thing. Like, I don't understand how, the people literally voted for the Trump MAGA populist Kash Patel. I mean, I don't know how famous Pam Bondi was, but, like, Kash Patel was going around the major podcast, going around like, I know where the list is. It's in a black book in the FBI, and we're going to expose this. And it's like, okay, dude. And then 6 months in.
Why would you do that if you weren't going to do it? I
Because
don't
maybe,
understand.
and this goes back to what I said earlier, maybe they really did believe it, and then someone was like, tap on the shoulder, be like, do it, see what happens. And you're like, noted. That could be that could be an option.
Yeah.
Like, that could, like,
That,
it's
I mean,
either
that
have
has
to talk about that as a valid possibility, because they've done it before.
He was either lying back then just to get into power, and he was really going to do this, or he's lying now because of threats, or he really did it. Like, he got the information. He was just like, this is just too big. We can't tell anyone. Like, so either way, he's lying back then just to get into power to make some shady, or he's being threatened, which means he has no honor, which means you know, he's still not willing to do what's right for this country because of whatever threats is against him. Even though his girlfriend is from
an Israeli, right?
Prager.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if she's Israeli, but she worked at PragerU, and she's a big supporter of Israel. So,
oh, maybe that was it.
And
so you're telling me an Indian's a scammer? Typo, I don't believe that. That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's what like everyone said. You know, everyone said that like when we started talking shit about Indians, it's really picked up after Vivek started running for governor of Ohio, and you know, people started doing the Indian trash talk again. But then there was like this like kind of side of it that was like Kash Patel, you know, he's the one that's making us not hate Indians.
Yeah.
this happens,
and he's like a Chad, and he's American as hell. Like
I know,
but then no, he's crap too. Apparently.
Yeah.
Colin Evil Fandango brought up the Samson option in the chat, which is like Israel's like, if we go down, we're just fucking launching nukes and we're gonna call it a day. Like kind of like an end all be all.
Yeah, I mean and that's another thing too, dude, is like the government literally made an anti-Semitic like task force battling anti-Semitism. This is like a huge thing that they like every single Republican politician has to talk about is anti-Semitism and how we have to support Israel. Yeah, I don't think you could do a worse job than to just shut up about the Epstein thing, because that is just going like, you know, I don't necessarily think that the Jews run our entire government. I think they have an influence in our government, but I don't think they run it all. But the people that go around saying that, I mean, you just convince a much like huger broad of people to be anti-Semitic. You know, like they're gonna look at this and be like, oh, there's stuff. It's because of Israel, and it's just, dude. It's like if they're trying to make people anti-Semitic, they're doing a great job. They are doing a great job.
Yeah,
and that I don't even think
actually anti-Semitism is heavily on the rise, and I'm saying
right.
that as somebody who does not consider themselves anti-Semitic.
Well,
but
course,
like I get it.
Liberal of the show, Sam. We get it.
Yeah,
I haven't decided yet. I'm still waiting for that.
That
Israeli check. Yeah.
Look, I'll take the money, Israel. I won't hide child sex trafficking, but I'm not on that.
Well, then you're off the list, brother.
Well, then yeah, buddy.
What are you talking about? What do you think they're paying you for?
I can't cover up for smaller stuff.
Nah, has to be that or nothing. Sorry.
Darn.
Yeah. I don't know.
We're fucked.
And some people. I mean, I will say Tucker Carlson going to the Turning Point USA event and like basically saying to the entire crowd that like, hey, this is an Israeli op. Like that's what this Epstein
Did that really
thing was.
happen? That's awesome.
Yeah, he on video, he's like talking to the crowd and he said Epstein was connected to Mossad. This is Mossad. And he told the crowd that we should be pissed about a foreign government blackmailing our government officials and we should demand answers to this. And surprising to me, the crowd at Turning Point USA fucking cheered. They were loud about this.
Ooh,
so it's like,
that's awesome.
You know, they couldn't even, you know, if you don't know, like Turning Point USA is huge supporter of Israel. They get a lot of Zionist donor money. They do special trips for their certain students to go to Israel and see the country. So this has been like a Zionist conservative organization, you know, and even their own like students attending the rallies and stuff are cheering for this type of stuff. And like I think they really lost the younger generation. It's becoming pretty obvious.
Yeah, I think like we said before about the whole passing all these bills and stuff like that. I don't think that's like intentionally done where they think it's like a covert psyop thing where like we're gonna trick people. It's like no, they really do believe if they push this shit, people can be like, all right, you guys are right. Like that's genuine. Yeah. Like they genuinely believe that.
Yeah, and I think they, you know, for years that's all they had to do. You know, they didn't have to like get people to like really know the history of Israel and Palestine or teach lectures on this subject. It was just like, oh, I'm for closed borders and deportations. And then at the end of their speech, they'll be like, and we support Israel. And then so like young kids would just see like, oh, being conservative, being right wing means you
Supporting
support
Israel.
Israel.
Right.
Like it's not like this nefarious, like they bring the students in a back room and they're like, listen here, Chuck.
Right.
Like you know,
Right, yeah.
You
They
watch
stuff-
this 7-hour video about
They stuff him in a
Israel,
locker like a fucking 80s movie bully. Give him
Right,
swirlies.
You
Totally
show
off
them,
topic.
like,
But my black friend just walked in the office I'm in, and he just smiled, and all I saw was teeth and eyes. It was so funny. It's totally black.
While the smoke detector beep goes off.
Of course. I was like, who is that? I was like, oh, it's EJ. I see his teeth. His dark ass room. All right, boys. I gotta head out.
Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
we
Well, this
can
was a good episode.
wrap
I
it
wish
up.
we
It
had
was a good
more of the guys
Thanks.
here. but
Oh,
this
everybody
was
fucking
fun.
follow us on YouTube, please, and like, because we're definitely not getting pushed with this.
Oh
one.
yeah, like us on
So,
YouTube. Yeah,
like
they-
and
dude,
subscribe, please.
last week we had an episode that had a click-through rate of 9.5%, and a few days after it only had less than 100 views, which is clearly, very clearly, obviously throttling. So yeah, they being Google,
Boy,
I guess,
they.
does not want this out. That was not meaning the Jews, but of course, whatever. Yeah, so like the video on YouTube, please, and subscribe, and I'll see everybody later. Follow me on MySpace.
Adam Nutter on Twitter.
At The Real Typo on Twitter.
Oy vey.
Oy vey.